This is a Making Comics 101 quick tip. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where together we are going to create some awesome comics, because this is Making Comics 101. We're back with another quick tip. So if you're not familiar with how this works, every week I introduce a new topic. This week we're talking about thumbnails. On Monday I put out the proper video, set everything up, introduce the topic. Then on Wednesdays I do a little bonus issue where I dive a little deeper, give you maybe an exercise that you can use. And then Friday I just like to make a quick tip about maybe, you know, around 5 minutes or so. Some people don't have a lot of time to sit and watch videos, so that's a good introductory point. Maybe they'll dive deeper in and want to learn some more. So the last quick tip I put out, if you look at the little timestamp, it says it's like 15 minutes long. There's about 5 minutes or so of content. The problem was that in my editing I forgot to remove a soundtrack that kind of ran for about 15 minutes, so you get a lot of black space on that. Now I can go back and edit that and upload a new video, but the problem is it's going to put everything out of order. So what I've done is I've edited and I've shortened it, and I'll probably upload it so it'll be in the playlist. So if you're just going through the playlist after the fact watching these, as soon as I upload that, you won't notice that. But if you're actually going through just the list of videos, then you probably get that older video. That other video that I will upload that's edited will probably be unlisted, but it will still pop up in that playlist. So if you're watching it, if you're watching the playlist, you won't notice, but if you just happen to click on that one video, you probably will. So just a little side note, just to let you know, sometimes I make mistakes, and unfortunately you can't, as far as I know, you can't just go in and edit an existing video. So you just basically have to upload it, and things upload when they are, they show up when they're uploaded, so everything's gonna be out of place. So I just want everything to line up. Anyway, so we're talking about thumbnails. I do have a quick tip for you. Now, one of the things I've mentioned a couple times is, you know, there's a number of different ways you can use thumbnails. I have the Comic Maker Starter Kit, which is free, that you can download. There's some thumbnail templates in here. If you want something that you can carry around, a little more portable, I've got these books that I will leave links to. It's just a journal of all different, you know, just thumbnails that you can take with you on the go or whatever. But there are many ways to do thumbnails. You don't have to have any of this stuff. You can just pull out a sheet of paper and draw with it. What I'm talking about today is an interesting or a little different way of doing thumbnails, and it's borrowing a little bit from what, say, like Disney or Pixar, or I imagine a lot of studios do nowadays in the film industry. And a lot of times when you see them doing this, and they're like storyboards, but when they describe storyboards, they will often describe them as, well, it's kind of like a comic. So we're doing comics, so why not take some of what they're doing with storyboards and kind of make it work for our comic pages? So there's a couple different ways you can do that. Oh, here we go. So first of all, and I've talked about these before, but these little 3x5 cards are great for this. Also, post-it notes are another way to do this. If you look at, you know, a 3x5 card or whatever, usually when they do storyboards, they'll do them like this, because it's kind of the screen ratio. When you're looking at a movie screen or whatever, it kind of looks like that. If we flip it, it's kind of like, it's more, that looks sort of the orientation of a comic book. I mean, you could theoretically go in here and make a page and put all your panels on there, but we're going to do it a little differently. So don't pay attention to the size of this, or even if it's square. What we want to do, because panels in comics come in all shapes and sizes and everything, we just want to imagine this as, don't think about the size of it or anything like that, or the dimensions, just this is a panel. Now it can be any size, but what I want to do is I want to draw each panel on one of these. We can post it up on like a bulletin board or whatever. If you don't have a bulletin board, then you can use these. They'll stick to a wall or whatever, or you can use both together. You can use these to put notes over other things like that. But the great thing about this, if you do each one of your panels, and you can section it off. You can say, over in this area, we've got a page, these are all the panels in that page. But just draw all of the different things that you're gonna have happen, and then you can step back and look at it, and you can say, well, okay, that's way too many panels a page, and just pull it off. That's the good thing about these. It's a little harder to edit if you're just drawing everything on one sheet of paper. If you don't like a particular panel, you can put a little X through it or whatever, but then you have to rearrange things. But this is a good way to get all your little scenes and everything and kind of figure out what works, you know, whether you got a close-up, whether you've got a bird's eye view, all this kind of stuff up here, and kind of figure out your story. And then maybe there's a scene or something that doesn't work, or a whole page that you're like, well, maybe I want to redo that, but you can move things around or whatever. But that's the great thing about working with a system like this, is that it's really editable. You can move things around, you can take things out, you can put things back on. Like if you've got all these up here, like I said, you could take a little Post-it and put it over here and say, well, change this little aspect of it. So, and the good thing is these are relatively cheap. You can buy like a pack of these for like $1 or something, with tons of them in here. Same thing with Post-its and everything. So it's a good way to lay out your, your comic book thumbnails. And then after you get everything you want, then maybe you can go back in a book like this and put it all in here. It all depends on how many steps you want your thumbnail process to be. You don't want to go overboard, but I think 2 or 3 different steps might serve your story better. Definitely one step. I've talked about this before, but don't just discount thumbnails altogether. A lot of people might just go to their pages, and I've heard a lot of people in the comments saying, man, I've kind of slept on thumbnails. I didn't really do them, but I can see the value of it, and I really think there is value to the thumbnails. So anyway, all this stuff, I mean, you know where to get this stuff, but if you want like the books and everything, there's links in the description, or the free Comic Maker starter kit, all that stuff. But other than that, that is today's quick tip on thumbnailing, and I will see you guys later. That is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.